Hey guys, Transmog here. Welcome back to another gold making video. And in today's video, I thought it would be rather interesting to debate whether farming for materials or transmog is more worth your time. So let's get into the video. Before we get into the video, guys, I just want to give a big thanks to everybody who has supported the channel lately, whether it's just watching or liking, commenting, subscribing, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. If you have not subscribed, make sure to do so. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. So, firstly, let's talk about the pros and cons of material farming. Now, the biggest draw for farming materials is that you are getting quick sales on the auction house, and everybody likes that, right? Like, that is awesome. You're getting a quick return for the materials that you are farming, and along with that, it's pretty simple and easy to farm up some materials. You just do some loops in zones with mining, herbalism, skinning, anything like that, and you just gather a bunch of stuff for an hour or however long you're farming and just post. And along with that, since you have the region-wide auction house, you're going to sell your stuff pretty darn quickly for a nice return. Obviously, you can then use the materials to craft and make more gold with, but for the simplicity's sake of this video, I'm just going to be talking about gathering materials and posting them straight onto the auction house. So obviously that sounds very enticing, and along with that, the main cons that I have with material farming is that, and especially due to region-wide auction house, the prices are quite a bit lower than they have been in years past for most new and old world materials. So doing an hour's farm, you're not going to get quite great results, averaging probably around 15 to 20,000 based on what you are farming in particular. Now obviously that's still really good golden hour. 20k is obviously very nice, and I've made videos about 20k an hour material farms in the past, but in my opinion, compared to Transmog, and you guys have seen it in my mailbox cleanouts, Transmog is just insane. Now, I'll just go ahead and preface that obviously Transmog does not work on every realm. If you play on a low pop or even a medium pop, it can be quite hard to get good sales in Transmog, but some good tips and tricks with selling Transmog. Make sure you have at least 1,500 items. I've even experienced that if you have like only 1,000, that you might have some dry days in terms of sales. So definitely try to go for at least 1,500. I like the sweet spot to have around 2,000 auctions. Along with that, set a minimum posting price of maybe 50, maybe 100 gold, whatever works for you, just so you don't have a bunch of very cheap transmog that are only a few gold a piece. So the main reason I recommend having so many pieces of transmog on your auction house is because in order to sell transmog, you have to find the right buyer looking for that specific piece of gear that they have not collected. Now it can be a bit demoralizing at first when you're starting your transmog farming and selling, not having sales right away, but trust me, having just a couple hundred pieces of transmog is not nearly enough. Obviously, transmog is very much so a long game in terms of gold making, but once you have your auction house set up and you dedicate some time each week to farming and restocking your transmog, it will be well worth your time, and you will definitely see the gold coming in. Now, obviously, and most importantly, the reason why I love farming transmog is due to the RNG value and the variety, because you never know what you're going to loot when going into a dungeon, and I personally really love that RNG factor of, possibly looting an item worth 100,000 gold. It just makes it more enjoyable, in my opinion, than farming for materials, because I believe farming for materials, you kind of know what you're going to get. You don't know how much, maybe, but you have a good idea. And while that's exciting to like look forward to what you're going to get, I just don't find it as fun to farm personally, because you kind of know what to expect. Alright guys, so in summary, I do believe material farming and transmog farming is good, and I believe it is good to blend both farming together. You don't want to only transmog farm, and you don't want to only material farm. But in my opinion, if you are looking into getting into gold making for the future, I highly recommend starting with transmog, building up your transmog auction house, and supplementing that with material farming so that you have some gold income while farming for the long game with the transmog. Obviously, this is the main method I do to make my gold, and if you've seen my cleanouts, I'm raking in hundreds of thousands of gold every single week doing this method, and I play on a full pop realm where the majority of transmog is very cheap compared to the region prices. So if I can do it, you guys can absolutely do it as well. Gold making is not difficult, but you do have to make sure to spend some time doing it every single week. You have to put in the effort in order to get the results. I only farm for maybe an hour or two a day as I work a lot. So, you know, it's definitely possible to earn close to, if not more, than what I earn each single week. I just make sure to have my auctions posted as much as possible. So aside from that, I'm sorry if today's video was a bit rambly. I'll try and edit this down as much as possible, taking out a bunch of the fluff and things like that. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And aside from that, good luck with your auction house sales, and I shall see you all in the next gold making video.